So it is finally time for the long overdue green pumpkin comparison video. So before we get started, I'm just going to cover a couple different things. So for this video, we are covering just straight green pumpkin. There are several variations out there of green pumpkin green, green pumpkin brown. We even have a green pumpkin gray. So what my plan is, I'm going to do all the just straight green pumpkins today, and then in a future video, I'll go over all of the green pumpkin variations. And just like the other videos, I'm going to use the size of the bottle to determine the order. That's just a way to randomize the order. That way we're not picking and choosing what goes where. So I'm going to show you guys the full process on color number 1. And then I'll just throw you guys on a time lapse, kind of run through the rest of these. That way this video doesn't drag out and become way too long. One final thing to note before we get started. I know Fat Guys Fishing does have a green pumpkin pigment. However, with the cost of shipping and everything, it cost about $20 just to get a 2-ounce bottle of colorant. Now what I'm going to do is I want to do the same exact video with watermelon. Now Fat Guys Fishing also has a watermelon, but it's out of stock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for that to come back in stock. Then I'll order both of those at the same time just to minimize my shipping cost, and I'll compare those again in a future video. So enough talking, let's get over here and get started with color number 1. So we're going to kick this off with some Golden Grub green pumpkin. And for any of you that are new to this series, what we do is I'm going to make 3 different versions. The first one is going to be translucent. What I'm doing is I'm going to add just enough pigment to where I can still see the bottom of my stir in the bottom of the cup. Then we'll add more pigment to where I can only see about an 1/8 inch into the plastic. And then we'll do a third version with flake. So let's start this with about 5 drops. 5 or 6, I wasn't counting. Let's see where that gets us. Alright, so I can already tell this is going to be more on the brown side than the green side. We're looking pretty good right there. I think I'm going to go ahead and stop right there with about 5 or 6 drops. Here we go with run number 1. So we're ready to open this. Now this is a 6-cavity mold. However, for color demos, we don't need to make all 6 of those cavities. So what we've done in previous videos is you take an old sprue, just lay it in the mold. I just took the body off of an old bait, threw it in this side, and that blocks everything off to where you can turn multi-cavity molds into a single cavity. And you can just pop that off of those pieces, and now you have just a single cavity mold. This works great for stuff like this when you're testing colors and you just need a single bait to see what it looks like. Or if you sell baits and say you're making an order for somebody and you have one bait that messes up, you don't have to inject the entire mold. Just block everything off, make whatever you need, and there you go. So here's our look at the translucent Golden Grub. Now we're going to add some more pigment and see what it looks like a little bit thicker. We've got our leftovers melted back down. I'm going to go with about 5 more drops. This pigment seems to be a little bit thicker than some, so I don't think it's going to take as many drops. All right, let's go with about 3 more. We're looking good right there. All right, time to inject round 2. So here is the thicker version. Let me pop this off of here for you guys. So there we have the thicker Golden Grub green pumpkin. Now we're going to get this melted back down. We're going to add a little bit of flake and finish up with round 3. And for our flake, we're going to keep it super simple. We're going to go with some 0.04 medium black flake. We're just going to go with a 1/16 of a teaspoon because we don't have a whole lot of plastic left. And let's see how that looks. Because green pumpkin black flake is one of the most common colors, I would say, used in bass fishing. So that's why we're just going to do this last round with some black flake. Keep it pretty simple. All right, I think we're good right there. Here's the first look at all 3 versions of that Golden Grub green pumpkin. So this one's definitely more on the darker kind of brown side of green pumpkin. So if you're looking for a brownish green pumpkin, this one could be a good option. Now, like I mentioned, you guys don't need to see that entire process over and over and over. So we're going to throw you guys on a time lapse. We're going to get to mixing. So we finally made it through all of these green pumpkins, and as you can see, you have a pretty wide variety of these. I honestly, when I started, didn't really expect to see a whole lot of variation, but as you can see here, there's actually quite a bit. So up here at the top, we've got our Golden Grub, which is a really dark, more like brownish color. The next one, we've got Lurecraft. Then you've got this one over here. It doesn't have a label. It is Ozark Tackle. Then you've got Dead On Plastics. Then Lureworks 156 and Lureworks 109. So here's a good look at all of those. And now the question of the day, which one is your favorite? And there you go. There's a good look at every green pumpkin side by side. For those of you that have been around the channel for a while, probably know that Lureworks 109 is my go-to green pumpkin. If I'm making a green pumpkin bait, it's probably this one. But what I like may not be your favorite, so that's why I enjoy doing these videos, so that you guys can decide which one is best for you. For those of you that sell baits, say you have somebody who's wanting a very specific color of green pumpkin, just take a snapshot or a screenshot of this video, show them all those baits side by side. They can pick out what they want and gives you a better idea of the direction that you need to go. So we've done these videos with motor oil, June bug, now green pumpkin. I do have watermelon that I'm going to do at a later date, but I'd like to know from you guys, what other colors like this would you like to see? Doing these types of videos, it is expensive if you've seen shipping costs lately. So buying all of these colors from every different manufacturer gets very expensive. So if you want, just drop a list of all the colors that you would like to see these massive comparison videos with, and I can get what I can done. So I appreciate all you guys watching and being patient with this video. If you like something in this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you on the next one.